Have you ever felt like you learned all your English from a textbook, but then you get to a party and suddenly you feel a little lost? Well, today we're going to dive into the secrets of social English, the real, everyday language that's going to help you sound way more natural and feel super confident at any get-together. Let's get right into it.
So, what is the secret to great party conversation? I'll tell you, it's not about having perfect grammar. Not at all. It's really about the stories we share, the colorful words we pick, and being able to talk about all those little moments of drama, or humor, or connection that are happening all around us.
Okay, let's set this scene. I want you to imagine you're at this absolutely picture-perfect wedding. Everything looks stunning, totally flawless. But you know how it is, even at the most perfect events, there's always a little drama bubbling just under the surface. So let's listen in on some of the gossip from the big day.
And boom, the drama starts right away. Can you even imagine the panic? We're talking moments before the ceremony is supposed to start, and one of the wedding rings is just gone. People were scrambling, looking everywhere. Talk about a nail-biting way to kick things off.
And then, you have one of those moments that could have been super embarrassing, but it turned into something completely charming instead. The little flower girl, right? She trips while she's walking down the aisle, but instead of crying, she just kind of gets up, dusts herself off, and the guests thought it was just the most adorable thing ever.
Oh, but the drama doesn't stop there. Apparently, there was a major mix-up with the catering. They had the wrong order and were literally about to serve a completely different meal to hundreds of guests. I mean, that could have been a true disaster for the reception.
And to top it all off, you have the classic party mishap. The bride's friend, Maria, is in this gorgeous dress, and then it happens. The dreaded red wine spill. It's that moment everyone fears, right? So between lost rings, catering chaos, and a stained dress, wow, it was quite a day. All right, so now that we've got all the juicy stories, let's take a closer look at the language itself. We're going to break down some of the specific, really powerful words people were using to describe the beautiful moments and make their compliments actually stand out.
Our first word is stunning. Let's just say it together. Stunning. This is such a fantastic word because it's so much stronger than just saying beautiful or nice. When something is stunning, it's so impressive it pretty much takes your breath away.
And here we can see exactly how it was used in the conversation. Even after the wine spill, the first thing people said was how stunning Maria's dress was. That just shows you what a powerful adjective this is for giving a really big, memorable compliment.
Okay, our next phrase involves the verb to outdo. You'll often hear it used like this: she outdid herself, or he outdid himself. This just means that someone did something way better than they usually do, totally surpassing everyone's expectations with their amazing effort.
Here is the perfect example from the wedding. The cupcakes weren't just tasty, they were apparently so incredible that everyone agreed Emma had outdid herself. It's a really fantastic way to praise someone's hard work when they create something exceptional.
Of course, parties aren't just about giving compliments. They're also about the little problems that always seem to pop up. The secret is knowing how to talk about them. So now let's look at the language people use to describe what went wrong, and more importantly, how everything got fixed in the end.
This table gives us a great little summary of all those near disasters. As you can see, every crisis had a resolution. The lost ring? It was found. The catering mix-up? It was corrected just in time. The wine spill was handled with a simple stain remover pen. And the flower girl's trip? Well, that ended up just lightening the mood for everybody.
And this brings us to a really useful and very common phrase: crisis averted. You say this when some potential disaster has been successfully avoided. The wine was cleaned up? Phew, crisis averted. The correct food was finally served? Crisis averted. It's just a short, powerful way to say, thank goodness that didn't turn into a bigger problem. So, we've covered compliments and problems. But let's be real. Parties are all about people and their emotions. So now let's explore some key idioms that are absolutely perfect for describing feelings and what's going on between people at a party. Here are two fantastic idioms for describing people. First, you have head over heels. This means to be completely, totally, deeply in love. And second, the life of the party. This is that one person who's the most lively and entertaining, the one bringing all the energy to the room.
At the wedding, this was used to describe the happy couple during their first dance. You see, saying they're head over heels for each other paints such a more vivid, romantic picture than just saying they're in love. It has more feeling to it.
And here's our second idiom in action. Somebody pointed out a guy named Tom on the dance floor, doing all these crazy moves and making everyone laugh. He wasn't just at the party, he was the party. He was the life of it.
All right, we've heard all the stories and we've broken down the language. So now, let's put everything together into a practical guide that you can actually use at your next social event. Think of this as your go-to checklist for great party conversation.
The whole key is to have these phrases ready to go. Now you can easily compliment a stunning outfit. You can praise a host who has outdid themselves. You can share a funny story about a crisis averted. And you can point out who is head over heels or who is the life of the party. Every single one of these phrases helps you connect and join in the conversation in a much more natural way.
You know, in the end, learning these phrases isn't really about improving your vocabulary list. It's about being able to fully share in all those small, memorable moments that make our social lives so rich and interesting. It's all about connection and storytelling.
And that brings us to the end. So I have one last question for you. Which one of these phrases are you going to try to use first? Just thinking about how you'll use them is the best way to make them a real part of your own vocabulary. Good luck, and thanks so much for joining me.